Hello everyone, this is my weekly update for June 12th for 2352 Intro to Contemporary Logic. I hope you guys are doing well. We are in the midst of Unit 3 as we speak. Unit 3 has an assignment that's due tonight. There are 4 different exercises associated with this assignment, exercises 2.1 through 2.4. I'm going to talk briefly about this, but in the big picture here, this relies upon getting clear on the connection between the language that we're familiar with and the logic that we'll be using in this class. All of you are competent speakers of English, many of you maybe a second or third language besides, and you're used to making inferences in ordinary language in that way. What we're going to be doing in this case, right, is learning this symbolic language here as a way of clarifying ordinary language sentences and understanding how inference works in that context there. Now, it's important here, right, that we have what we call here a well-formed expression. Well-formedness is really just making logical sense. So a lot of what we're going to be doing in this case, right, is either identifying or building, as we're going to see, these well-formed formula, these formula expressions in this case, which match the logic of the language, whatever the natural language expression is. In exercise 2.1, you're identifying whether or not a formula expression I give you is or is not a well-formed formula. And there you'd either say yes or no and why. If it's not, if it contains some things that a well-formed formula shouldn't, or if it's not formed in a way that a well-formed formula should be, or something like that, right? You just want to make clear exactly what is wrong with it and why it is not, if so. The second exercise set, we're kind of focusing on vocabulary there. We're going to be using a lot of terms, conjunction, disjunction, antecedent, consequent, within the context of the class. We're going to be kind of going through and kind of reinforcing that as we go along. But it's important just to get clear on the terminology just straight up. So a lot of what we're going to be doing there is kind of learning some terms, identifying conjunction, disjunction, etc., and then also identifying the major operator of a given formula. That's a skill that we're going to be using time and time again throughout the rest of the semester. So something good to try and work on right now. Exercise 2.3 and 2.4, what you're doing is building formula expressions. So I give you in exercise 2.3 a natural language sentence statement, and you translate it in formal sense here into a well-formed formula. And then exercise 2.4, I give you a natural language argument, set of premises and a conclusion with some logical form, and you translate that into what we call here a sequent. That is a sequence of well-formed formula that is identifying both the premise and the conclusion of that given argument there. Again, that's the assignment for Unit 3. That's due by midnight tonight. Again, it's not the end of the world if you need an extra day or two, right? Just get it in as quickly as you can. No grade deduction for late work as long as it's within the resubmission window. But try and get it in as quickly as you can so we can get a little feedback and get that going. We also have Unit 1 and 2. The resubmission window for that, unfortunately, is closing tonight. So if you have resubmissions on that, please get them in as quickly as you can, right, by midnight tonight. And there, if you have a resubmission you're working on, prioritize that, because I can always take Unit 3 late, but I can't make individual exemptions for the resubmission window, unfortunately. So as a consequence, once that closes, that's closed, right? I can't accept any additional assignments for that. Again, if you have some resubmissions, I've seen some coming in this weekend, been working on those as we come in. But if you have any resubmissions on that one, improve your grade for any of the previous assignments, go ahead, take a look at my feedback there, make those corrections, and resubmit that assignments for Unit 1 and Unit 2 when you can. We do have tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., a new unit opening up. Actually, 2 new units, interestingly enough. Those will be Units 4 and 5. Units 4 and 5, what we're going to be doing is building our first formal proofs. And that's going to be a lot of what we're going to be doing through the rest of the semester, is building these formal proofs, right? Learning rules of deduction, valid rules of deduction, and showing in this case how a given set of premises, formal expressions, lead to, in this case, right, our conclusions. That's, again, we're going to kind of be getting through that. That's the next 6 weeks or something like that we'll be going through. Really, we're just going to be kind of starting with that. So there's a few different rules that we'll be learning. In Unit 4, we introduce and reduction and elimination, our first 2 rules of inference there, which are pretty straightforward. Given a conjunction, the 2 conjuncts are true independently of one another, and given two true statements, the conjunction of those two statements will be true, and elimination and reduction respectively. The other one we're going to be kind of dealing with in Unit 5 is modus ponens. Modus ponens deals with the conditionals and says, given in this case a true conditional statement, if the antecedent is true, the consequent then is also true. We can attach that and put it on its own line of proof. That may not understand what I said there, which is totally fine. We'll, if you watch this in a few weeks, it'll make perfect sense. But we are going to be kind of learning and working on that right through next week, and that will be kind of working through, again, 2 assignments associated with that, exercises 3.1 and 3.2 for units 4 and 5 respectively. And that'll be all open tomorrow, so you'll have access to that. And if you have any questions, do let me know. We will have our first exam popping up sometime next week. I am working on a few things here on trying to get, I'm going to be using the Lockdown browser and a few other things, so I'm working on trying to get those exams together and getting all the stuff that's needs to be there on there. So I will have some more instructions for you next week, right, with regard to that. But many of you already have installed your Lockdown browser from other classes, right, which is totally fine. You're already ahead of the game. For those who have not, right, I want to give you some instructions on how to do that. But I will be working on that sometime this week, and I will get you that. Probably have another update video about Wednesday, right, just to kind of whenever that exam goes live. I tried to make it so it doesn't conflict with the usual due date for the assignments. Since the usual due dates of the assignments are on Friday, what I'm going to do is make it due on Sunday night, which gives you a little extra time. That also gives me an opportunity to get and turn around any resubmissions you have on Unit 3. The Unit 3 resubmission window will be closing next Friday, and of course, right, I want to be able to, right, give you feedback there, right, ahead of time before you take that exam. So that'll be due after that resubmission window closes, probably on Sunday or Monday, depending on how I'm doing with that. So just to put that in perspective, that will be opening probably about Wednesday or Thursday next week, and that'll be due again about Sunday or Monday. So that's just to give you some dates here. That'll be opening on around the 17th and then due on around the 21st, right? Just to put that in perspective. All right, and the content of the exam will be units 1, 2, and 3. Again, I'm going to say a little bit more about that when we get there. Any of the stuff, the new stuff here in units 4 and 5, that will be on the next exam, unit 2, which should be close to the 4th of July weekend there. All right, if you have additional questions, if they're content questions, bring them to the discussion board. If they're questions on the course or you need additional assistance or anything like that, hit me up directly and I'll be happy to chat with you a little bit more. Just to put in perspective here one more time, any resubmissions for Unit 1 and 2, please get those in tonight. Those are closing at midnight. And then, of course, right, Unit 3, as quickly as you're able to get that in, since that is due technically tonight at midnight. And then next week, I will have more information there on Exam 1. Hopefully we have a good week. Let me know if you need anything. If not, let's keep trucking along.